This is Masechet Kiddushin, Daf Lamed Vav Amud Bet, and the Mishnah on the bottom of the Amud. Kol mitzvah hateluyot baaretz, eina noheges ela baaretz. Any mitzvah which is dependent on the land only applies in Eretz Yisrael. V'she'eina hateluyot baaretz, and any mitzvah which is not dependent on the land, noheges bein baaretz bein b'chutz la'aretz, that applies whether you're in Israel or you're in Chutz La'aretz. Chutz, with the exception of Mina Orla, except for Orla, Kilayim, and Kilayim. Orla is the mitzvah that in the first 3 years of a tree's life you can't eat the fruits, and Kilayim is that you can't mix different species like a vine with wheat, etc. So these are two mitzvahs that apply outside of the land of Israel, even though they're dependent on the land, for different reasons. Whether it's D'oraisa, whether it's D'Rabbanan. Rabbi Eliezer Omer Afa Chadash. Rabbi Eliezer says, if even the mitzvah of Chadash, which is the prohibition not to eat from the new grains before the second day of Pesach, this is a mitzvah which, it's slightly unclear how to read the Mishnah, but the Gemara has a debate. But even Chadash, which is dependent on the land, applies outside of the land of Israel, is a simple way of reading the Mishnah. So the Gemara begins, "My tluya, my she'ena tluya." What does this mean? Dependent on the land. What makes something dependent on the land, or what makes something not dependent on the land? Ilema tluya d'chsiv v'bia. If you say that dependent on the land means that the Torah introduced this mitzvah, like it does many times, kitavo la'aretz, when you come to the land, then you'll do this mitzvah. That's dependent on the land, on the coming to the land. V'she'eina tzluya ba'aretz, and those which are not dependent on the land, the lo chtiv b'bia, where the Torah doesn't specify that can't be. Harei tefillin petach hamor d'chtiv bahen bia. Tefillin, the mitzvah where tefillin is introduced kitavo la'aretz, and similarly the mitzvah of petach hamor, of the firstborn animal, requiring to be pidgeoned, redeemed. D'chtiv ben bia, they say the word bia. V'nohagim bein ba'aretz bein b'chutz la'aretz, and we know that they apply even outside of the land. Interestingly, Rashi says, how do you know that they apply outside the land of Israel? Tefillin, eshkechan b'kama duchtin b'rabbanan maroy b'Bavel d'manchit tefillin. We have many accounts of chachamim in Bavel who wore tefillin, so obviously the obligation applies outside the land of Israel. So the Gemara, therefore, looks for a different explanation of what tluya ba'aretz means. Amar Rav Yehuda Hachik Amar, Kol mitzvah shichovas aguf no hages bein ba'aretz bein b'chutz la'aretz. Any mitzvah which is conceptually defined as a personal obligation applies whether you're in Israel or in chutz la'aretz. Chovas karka, but if conceptually the mitzvah is an obligation which emanates from the land, eina no hagos ela ba'aretz, then they apply only to the land of Israel. What's the source for this principle? The Tana Rabbanan, Eila, because we have a Braita bases itself on a pasuk. Eila chukim. This is a pasuk in Devarim. Eila chukim hamishpatim asher tashmrun la'asos. These are the laws that you should keep in the Baaretz, in the land asher nasan Hashem Elokei avosecha lach lirishta, that God gave it to you to inherit. Kol yamim asher atem chayim ala adama. All the days that you live on the earth. So the Braita explains this pasuk. Eila chukim. What is chukim? Elu ha-midrashos. These are the midrashim. V'ha-mishpatim. And what is the expression mishpatim? Elu adinim. These are the actual laws. That tishmerun, that you should watch. Zo mishnah. La'asos, to do. Zeh ma'aseh. This is the action of doing the mishnah. Mitzvos. Ba'aretz. Okay. All these things should be done ba'aretz. Yachol kol mitzvos kulan lo yu noagim ela ba'aretz. So if the pasuk would stop right here at the word ba'aretz, you would think that all these mitzvos should be only kept ba'aretz Hashem nasan Hashem Elkecha, Elokei avosecha, that they should only be kept in the lands. Therefore, the pasuk continues, kol yamim asher atem chayim al adama, all the days you live on the earth, in the general. If you're going to take the last phrase of the Mishnah, all the days on your earth that would imply that all the mitzvahs apply everywhere in the world. Talmud Lomer Baaretz, and therefore the Torah had to say Baaretz in the land of Israel. So basically, the pasuk contradicts itself. Achar sheriba kasav miyet. We have the principle of riboy and miyut, where you expand the application of the mitzvah and then restrict it. So then we learn say lama mimasha amar be'inyan. We look at the context, and the pasuk which follows, abei ta'abdun is called mekamos. You should destroy in all the land asher avdu sham, etc. Destroy all the avodah zarah that we find in the land of Israel. Just like the mitzvah of destroying and neglecting all avodah zarah is a mitzvah which applies in the land of Israel as well as outside the land of Israel, although in slightly different ways. So too, any chovas haguf, personal responsibility like avodah zarah, no hagos bein ba'aretz bein b'chutz la'aretz are applicable both in Eretz Yisrael as well as in chutz la'aretz.